have the Invid Scout from Playmates. This was produced in 1995, and I'm going to show you some of the articulation to this figure. So you can move the feet back and forward, and you can see here that the claws at the bottom, its feet, can move, but they can't pinch. They can only move. Looking at the arms, you can move them up and down and rotate them around about 360. Here I'm doing the other side. Now I'm making the figure do a pirouette. You can see that the claws cannot open or close, they're just stationary. And that's pretty much the articulation of this toy.
Invid Trooper description. The Invid Trooper is the standard ground mecha of the Invid forces. Although capable of flight, the standard trooper avoids aerial combat because it is not nearly as agile as the smaller fighter and scout mecha. Like all newer Invid mecha, the standard Invid Trooper has protoculture sensors in addition to optical and electromagnetic sensors. Used primarily in areas already under Invid control, the standard trooper does not contain any offensive weapons like its shock trooper counterpart, but it is still a menacing and formidable opponent. It can serve in pacification and control as well as combat operations. Like all Invid mecha, the standard trooper is relatively lightly armored and can be successfully engaged even by cyclone-mounted and man-portable rockets, though its claws are quite capable of seriously damaging and destroying an alpha fighter. The upgraded Invid shock trooper is essentially the same mecha, but is more heavily armored and has two heavy plasma cannon pods mounted on its shoulders. The pilot of the Invid Trooper sits in a bath of nutrient fluid similar in color to the pilot's own blood, and a direct hit to the cockpit compartment will usually cause a mixture of both fluids to gush out. A hive mind consisting of invertebrate, bipedal, crab-like creatures, the Invid came from the world of Iptera, the inhabitable planet of the Tsuptum system. Their world was defoliated by the Robotech Masters in an attempt to monopolize the flower of life, a powerful narcotic that was native to the planet, and also the source of an incredibly powerful energy source called protoculture. Enraged by the devastation and betrayal by those who came as apparent friends, the sedate and agrarian Invid militarize and begin a program of genetic manipulation, evolving to a point where they can strike back. The unleashed rage of the Invid proves superior to the Master's own power, and the Robotech Empire is slowly conquered. Ultimately, the Invid trace the stolen flowers to Earth, which turns out to be the only other place in the galaxy where the flower can grow, and invade Earth without a moment's hesitation, thus beginning the Third Robotech War. The Invid are led by twin monarchs. Long ago, the Regis genetically modified herself to interact more easily with the scientist Czar, who came to Iptera to study the flowers of life. In this form, she was seduced by Czar, who took from her knowledge of the flower's secret before abandoning her and the Invid. The Regis is devoted to the flower of life and its ability to transform. While willing to engage in near merciless conflict in the short term, she views evolution as a path to move beyond slaughter in the longer term, and aspires to reach a stage of evolution where the Invid might recapture the idyllic life that was once theirs. The male counterpart to the Regis is known as the Regent. Less interested in evolution, that his estranged wife, the Regent, is also physically undeveloped beyond the natural bipedal stage of existence that was the Invid's original form. His path is not transformation, but annihilation. While Zar was likely unaware of the Master's intent to defoliate Terra, he links the personal betrayal of the Regis seduction to the defoliation, and has since that time devoted himself to the destruction of the Master's race.
My impressions of the Playmates Invid Scout are such that, well, first of all, it's really not the Invid Scout. It's painted to be like the Invid Scout, but it's really the Invid Trooper. And I found that out when I was going to one of my reference sites, looking up information on it, and found that it is shaped like a Invid Trooper. So it just doesn't have the correct paint style. The Invid Trooper is the same body, but it's more of a deeper purple than a cranberry red color. So, but all in all, it's a good toy. It's meant to be rough-housed, and it's a very sturdy toy. And if they're still out there, they're very cheap to get, and I would recommend that you get it. In these pictures, I have set up a 6-inch World of Warcraft character from DC Direct and a Kenner Aliens, which looks about maybe 4 or 5 inches as well, sitting up next to the Playmates Invid Scout.